Am I wrong? Dreambeam1215 says, am I wrong for being upset that my BF sleeps at his ex-wife's house when he visits his kids? Hi all, I 30 female, have been dating my boyfriend 33 male for a little more than a year now. He has been divorced for 2 years now and has 2 kids in their young teens who live in another faraway state, so he cannot see them often. When we started talking it was just casual, he visited his kids then, but it never came up that he stays with his ex-wife while he visits his kids. Now that we are more serious, he still stays at his ex's house when he visits. He claims it's so he can spend ample time with the kids and so they can spend holidays and birthdays as a family. I have sat him down and talked to him about how him staying in her house while she is there makes me extremely uncomfortable. I did my best to avoid an argument. I offered to pay for his hotel or airfare to take some of the burden off. An argument still happened. It boiled down to he isn't there for her, he is there for his kids, and that I need to trust that nothing is happening with her. I tried to challenge this by saying it isn't a big deal if he gets a hotel, since they are divorced, and why he insists on spending time with her at all. Since he hates her, he ended up saying I'm mad because I hate his kids, which I don't. Now we aren't speaking. Am I in the wrong for being upset that he stays with his ex when he visits them? Edit. A few people have asked what will I do if we proceed with getting married or I go to visit with him. He brought this up to her before and she said he could continue to stay with her and I would have to stay in a hotel. I would only be allowed to see the children at certain times that she dictates, which does not include holidays or birthdays. I most certainly understand that their children come before any partner. That is not the issue I have. I have no issue with him being a father. I enjoy that aspect of him. I also understand that she does not want me to see her children, which is well within her right. When all this came up, he told me that she threatened to go for full custody should he violate any of her rules, so he told me I can't come with him. Itchy Associate 29 says, do you wanna live like that your whole life? It's just the beginning. Leave before it gets more miserable. There are other childless guys ready to date you. Horror River 9621 says, yup. Wanna do that? Sure. I'm going to join you so everyone knows what's going on, and it's going to be awkward. Dump the bizacch if he complains. Feisty Cheetah 8078 says, I was wondering if she wants to have a family herself. Does that mean that they will travel to the ex's house and Op and her kids stay in the hotel? Or will it just be Op in the hotel all by herself Christmas morning while his ex gets to have Christmas morning with her kids? He's gonna have to grow a pair if he's hoping to have another relationship. Naspanking Gallowed says, if it's a boundary for you, then you end it. There's no point in putting yourself through the stress. But FTR, here in that shoe has been on the other foot and the guy was told it was perfectly acceptable and not be insecure and controlling. So some of the advice you get may have a particular bent to it. Wathapan Edmund A says, cut this one loose. This is a no-win situation. He will always say it is about the kids even when it isn't. Just move on. Edit. Spelling. Turbulent by 3575 says, you won't win this argument ever. Albatross Senior 7107 says, if they get married and have kids, this is a very real conversation Op and he need to have. Mink0220 says, his reaction tells me he doesn't want to change it, whether he is not interested in her or not. So, I would think about being with him, if you want to live like that, or his reaction to me seemed really strong. Danim says, true. Some divorced parents actually put their kids first. Shocking, I know. If you don't like it, Op, get a different boyfriend. You believe that his behavior is wrong, but he doesn't. So he's not going to change. So leave. Now. Don't be one of those morons who gets married and then whines about the status quo that has existed since the very beginning, and you told your partner you hated it, but they did it anyway because they made their own choice about their own life. That's why I never dated a smoker. I hate smoking, and I always have, so why the hell would I ever have dated and married one, only to complain about what I knew from the very beginning? My husband smokes and has no intention of stopping because my opinion that it's wrong was never one he agreed with. That would have been really moronic on my part to get married to him at all. If you don't like something major about your partner and they don't want to change it because they don't agree, it's wrong. Get a new partner. Simple. Dreambeam1215 says, I absolutely love that he puts his children first, and I know that I come second. That isn't the problem. The problem is he told me I hate his children because I don't feel comfortable that he sleeps at his ex's house. I don't feel like his reaction was appropriate, but I could certainly be wrong. Worldly Instance 730 says, I think you're the other woman. He sounds married. Mozzie 2022 says, I'd like to share an experience from the other side. I'm the ex-wife whose ex-husband would stay at my house, the house we bought together while married, when he was seeing the kids, 5 and 6 when we divorced, now 30 and 31. We weren't fooling around. I was not remarried or dating. He had a new girlfriend, and when they were at the dating stage I made great efforts that she would feel welcome and comfortable with me because I knew someday she might be the kid's stepmom, and I wanted a healthy co-parenting relationship with my ex. They did marry and eventually bought a home about 100 miles away. He was a police officer, so would come into town and work multiple shifts, sleep at the station, sometimes come over to my house to have supper with the kids and me, sleep over in my son's room, have breakfast with the kids, take them to school. While I headed off to work, he'd head back to work, then home to his wife. They never had kids between them. We have grandkids. Now, we, my ex, his wife, me, the kids, our extended families, celebrate milestones together. I bring my former middle with me when I go up to see our son, who moved to the area where his dad lives and is the father of my grandkids. My daughter has told me how much it meant to her being able to have both parents in her life while growing up, even though we were divorced, and that many of her friends' parents would fight and couldn't be at school events together, or there were big fights at graduations or weddings. When my son married, he did the mother-son dance first with me, then with his stepmom. It was beautiful. I tell you this to say, don't write this man off right away. If you become the new wife, you will need to have a relationship with their mom. If you ask your boyfriend to choose between you and his kids, if he's a good father, you will lose that ultimatum. You have to have a level of maturity and confidence to date a man with children. Loud Recognition 218 says, I have the same relationship with my ex. We actually live together. It's a weird dynamic. Your relationship is great. The problem for Op is that his ex doesn't want her around at all. She has said she is not allowed to spend holidays or children's birthdays with them. She has also said if Op's BF doesn't follow any of these rules, she's going to go for full custody and threatening to take his time with his kids away if he doesn't do exactly as she says. So this is definitely not the same situation. You are a kind and mature mother who obviously put the best interest of your children first. His baby mama does not. She'd take a loving father away from her children just so his GF couldn't be around them. Or she'd at least try to. That is a bad mother in my opinion, who cares more about her insecurities than her children having a good relationship with their father. Which is extremely important. So sadly it seems like it would only get worse for Opus. If I were her, I would definitely leave. Especially since it seems like her BF chooses to just do whatever his ex says, so he doesn't start a fight over standing up for himself and his rights as a father. Am I wrong? Text Fuzzy 8340 says, my boyfriend is jealous of my godfather. We're not related, but I have known my godfather, T, my whole life. Has a close friend of my mom's and has a good person. Has in his 50s and I'm 19. Of course I don't see him in any type of weird way and has never been inappropriate or treated me as anything but a daughter figure. But my boyfriend has always been weird about him since he met him at my quince. He says it's weird how close we are since we're not actually related. He assumes she is scummy or something BC. He never has been married or had kids, and he works as a musician, and he hates random stuff like that. T paints his nails and sometimes we match our nail color lol. T just travels a lot and probably never had time for a family. I have never had my dad in my life, so it's been great for me to have T in my life. My BF just made little annoying comments, but now has asked me to stop texting him as much and go lower contact. We don't text every day or anything, maybe every few days or weekly, and usually just like a meme or in joke. Has gotten in my head saying that much texting with a man when I have a boyfriend is weird and disrespectful to him. I kind of want to break up with him TBH, but we've been together for a long time and has the only BF I ever had. And then I wonder if other guys will not like the situation anyway. Live Aspect 9394 says, you can break up anytime for no reason. I don't think there's anything wrong with keeping a father figure in your life who treats you well instead of your boyfriend. One Paludo says, your boyfriend is weird. We all have family that's not related to us that are super close. Tell him to grow up or leave. Sounds like he is trying to control you. Independent at 3844 says, if you kinda want to break up with him, you probably should. You're 19 and this dude is trying to tell you to not speak to someone who you consider family. You know how easy it is to find another guy to be with at 19. Or you can just be single for a while and enjoy your own life. Nia Fenks says, you've had a relationship with your godfather your whole life, and he's a trusted family friend who's been a positive figure in your life basically from birth. Your boyfriend picked a hell of an opponent to compete with if he wants you to give that up. You're not texting a backup boyfriend or some other booty call you have on the side to cheat on your boyfriend with. He's functionally a member of your family. Think about that. This boyfriend wants to cut you off from some of your closest family. A man who your parents would have trusted to outright raise you had something happen to them. Compared to your godfather, your boyfriend is nothing. Your bond with a family member that you trust and value will go far beyond anything this boyfriend can give you. That ad 5076 says, if he truly loves you, he'll appreciate the gesture and love your godfather shows you. You're not wrong, but your boyfriend definitely is. But Turtits for Life says, your BF is an abuser. Abusers like to make their spouses cut contact with people they love and that love them. Farrah Competent says, family is more than blood, you know this. Your BF wants to separate you from a man who has your best interests at heart. Why do you think he wants this? Nefarious Neat 679 says, your boyfriend is trying to isolate you from the only man in your family who might protect you from him when his controlling behavior escalates into abuse. Anyone who tries to separate you from your family and friends does not have your best interests at heart. You can find a much better partner. If you stay with this guy, you'll never know who you are missing out on. Please do break up and discover who you are without him. You may find you love the freedom. And please be careful he doesn't get you pregnant. Baby trapping is a real thing. Radio Raven 1408 says, early signs of controlling, and he sure has seen a few fub videos to construct his narrative. Based on your story, I would imagine you and the godfather are like Wednesday and Uncle Fester. Madame Kitsune says, I kind of want to break up with him TBH, but we've been together for a long time and he's the only BF I ever had. You are 19. You'll have other boyfriends, but you'll never have another T. My auntie passed away 7 years ago, and I still miss him every day. Still find myself looking for him when I go to his favorite places. People like T can't be replaced, but this fool of a boyfriend can be, and I really think you should. Evolutionary Sin says. Okay, so you ditched T. Do you honestly think your boyfriend is done isolating you at this point? Who's next? The hints will probably already have been dropped. THJNK about other relationships he's hinted about because they are the next ones he's going to target. Heart According 5241 says. Tell your BF you will not be cutting him down or out, and let him decide if he wants to stay. Accomplished Bat 3380 says. People grow and change. Just because you've sunk years with this guy doesn't mean you owe him another minute. It's okay to move on. You're going to learn a lot about yourself and the world around you over the next decade. You won't be the person you are now in a few years. Don't think you have to settle just because he's the only boyfriend you have ever had. That doesn't mean he is your perfect match. A man who respects you will trust you and your relationship with other people. Since he doesn't trust you, he might not be the one. Front Friend 9108 says. You said he's the father figure in your life. You're not wrong. Your little boyfriend has jealousy issues for no reason, and that's his problem to deal with. Don't let other people control healthy relationships in your life. You're 19. What's not normal is the way your BF is acting. Time to break up with that kid. You'll definitely find someone else who can appreciate your godfather's good influence on your life. Good luck, you're not wrong. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.